New year, new league. That is the major story for both of these squads coming into tonight's contest. We have the Cedar Raptors, all the way from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, taking on the Minnesota Minx. Thanks for joining us here, everybody, for the opening week of the AWFL football season. My name is Hunter Pinky. I am on the call for tonight's action as the kickoff is away here. And we'll trickle all the way down to the 14-yard line and wrapped up immediately by a Raptor. So the Minnesota Minx will get us started here on offense. So please bear with us as our shots are going to be a little wide to start. The rain is coming down pretty heavily here. So we're just going to do the best we can. And getting this rolling here. So it might be a little blurry to start, but once the rain kind of subsides, we'll be able to open the windows and, you know, get a little bit cleaner of a look. So thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Like I said, I'm the sports director at Hastings Community TV. So we'll start with the first down. Out of the gun, quarterback Madison Hahn, one back in the backfield. Believe that will be Ghana. So Hahn looks to hand it off, found some space, but quickly closed by the Raptors. About a 4-yard gain, so a good start for Minnesota. So we're back after about an hour or so lightning delay. There are storms in the area that have made tonight's broadcast a little bit difficult. As we're set for a second down and about 6. Hahn. Gotta fake the direct snap, and Ghana will get wrapped up by a Raptor for a loss. So that will set up a 3rd and long. We mentioned earlier, like I said, new year, new league. Both these teams moving over from the WFA, Women's Football Alliance, here to the American Women's Football League. While it may be a new league, these teams have faced multiple times last year. Cedar Rapids getting the victory, a lot too little over the hometown Minx. So Minnesota looking to change their fortune, but obviously a tough test here with a 3rd and long. Obviously, the wet, rainy conditions not helping here. Player in motion. I think the football was fumbled, and that might be Cedar Rapids football. And that is recovered by the Raptors, so that'll give them excellent field position. I believe that was number 10 on the recovery, Ashley Brooks. So talk about a great start here for the Cedar Raptors. And again, we're going to get very old school football today with the wind, rain, and these tough field conditions. So we'll get a first look here for the Cedar Raptors offense, and who've really come to their own. Obviously getting the win over Minnesota last year. Minnesota took their inaugural meeting a couple years ago. So it'll be 2-back set with the quarterback number 1, Parker Belethis. Handoff, run inside, and they'll get the touchdown. So actually, no, I believe the quarterback is Melissa Stockwell-Gregson. Number 25, the non-conventional quarterback number, and excuse me, I believe they were actually actually, it was a touchdown, excuse me, a little late on the scoreboard. So they're going to go for a 2-point conversion, and obviously with this being a new league, they have some slightly different rules than the WFA based on different yardages and distances, which I'll run through a little bit more in depth a little bit later in tonight's broadcast. So they're going to go for a 2-point try here. Actually, no, this is number 1. Belthis. Direct snapped. Fumbled football, and the Minnesota Minx will come up with it. So the 2-point no good. So let's take a look back at the touchdown that got us started here. Again, direct snap to number 25, and just found pay dirt on the give and go. So as you take a look at that 2-point attempt, fumbled, snap. Again, it's going to be very tough field conditions here today with all the rain and wind. So we'll have to see how both of these teams adjust. I want to thank our camera operators, Ben Brannon and Ian Andersack, for joining us this evening on a dreary Saturday night. Again, this was initially scheduled for a 5 o'clock start. So the Cedar Raptors are ready to kick it away. Minnesota Minx back deep to return, down 6-0 to start this game in the early few minutes. And the kick is up. Little pooch kick. Fielded at the 35. Makes her way across the 50. Another fumble. That might be Cedar Raptor football still loose. Who's going to get on it? And it's the Cedar Raptors. And boy, this might be a long football game for the Minx, should this continue. But again, equal playing conditions. We haven't seen a long sustained drive yet for the Cedar Raptors, so they're going to be dealing with this as well. We saw a fumble from them on that extra point tries. Let's take a look back on that last return. Again, a great return. Just had it punched out, and again, that ball is slick. Just trickles through the legs of a few players, and it's the Cedar Raptors that come away with it. So first down here, so we'll see the second possession for the Cedar Raptors. Again, bear with me, folks. I always got to mention I'm doing the directing, replay, and all this all at once. So maybe a little slow getting into the groove to start things off. And again, kind of with the rain and stuff, we're a little bit behind on the production side, but we're getting there. That's another good run there. I believe that was number 2 for Iowa, Lizzie Humpel. So it'll be a second down. Getting hard to hear the crowd. Obviously, we can't have our crowd mics out due to the rain. So second down. Handoff, number 2 takes it. Good carry. Should be a few yards short. As we'll take a look back on the replay here. Again, finds the hole. Good carry. So it'll be a third down, big defensive stop. And again, haven't seen Minnesota the past few years. The biggest point of emphasis, I think, their defense is stout. Again, tough field position to start that first possession, but their defense has really come a long way in the first few seasons. And again, led by J.C. Otterson, number 42, has been an interception machine. And thrown out in the flat and nearly picked off. Maria Bradbury in there to disrupt the play. Let's take a look back on replay here. As here we go. just got a great jump. Got a hand on it, and Cedar Raptors couldn't get that screen going. And that'll set up a 4th down, and it looks like they are going to punt. So set up a punting situation here for the Cedar Raptors. Apologize, I'm looking at a monitor, so we'll get the number here shortly. 27, bad snap, just goes off the hands, a little high, but great composure to get that one away. That'll trickle all the way down. They will be forced to field it. Hold on to that football as they went for the strip. But a great job to maintain possession of that. Let's take a look back on that punt. Just went off the hands. Great composure to get it away. And again, with these rain and wet conditions, you have to grip that tight. And that time she made sure to not lose that. As you get a good look on the sideline at number 27, Bomber Karshbaum, one of the captains of the Minx, who fielded that return. So we will be set for Minnesota's 2nd drive of the game. So out of the gun, one back in the backfield, Minnesota. Looking to get this offense started. 33 in motion. Looking to pitch it out. Has some space, finds a lane for a short to minimal gain. Believe that was Ghana once again. Number 28 for the Raptors, Noble Gisander. As we might have an injury down on the field. That's a little slow getting up is number 1, Parker Belthis. Got up okay, but stayed down a little too long, and unfortunately they're going to have to come out for a play here. So let's take a look back on the replay here. Again, nice early down run. Just trying to get that run game started early, especially in a wet field game. You don't know how much you're going to trust that passing offense. So 2nd down. Working out of the gun are the Minx. Now looking to pass, first one of the game. Has an open receiver, thrown a little high, and that was number 24 there in to break it up. That's Kaya Saunders as they make a nice play on the football. Again, not an awful throw, just a little bit high. Had a couple of receivers over there. Number 92 looked like the intended target. That was Des O'Connell. They just unfortunately couldn't get a hand on it, so it'll set up a third down. Good look at quarterback Madison Hahn in her 4th season as starting quarterback. Looking to pass, rolling out. Has some space, throws it, and just a little high of the intended target, number 33. That is Keeper Hopkins. Wide receiver, running back, special teams, they can do it all. Keeper Hopkins, one of the names you'll be hearing a lot tonight for the Minnesota Minx, as they'll be forced to punt here. And just so you know, on our graphics too, it's a little different. We don't have down and distance tonight. So the 4th period on the right side of the score bug, that is downs. The left one is quarters, as Minnesota is set for their first punt. And speaking of special teams, there's Keeper Hopkins out there for the punting duties. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, let us know where you're watching from. See a ton of comments already. So great to see Asher, Mayanaka, Leonardo da Vinci, 3589. Ronnie Lilly says prime football weather. That's what we love to see as the punt is away. Fielded cleanly, makes a move, has some space, takes it down the sideline, and they'll step out of bounds.
And the Raptors
There's a great return by number 16, Zane Nelson, as he takes it deep down the sideline. As we take a look back on the replay here, and just finds a lot of space, and you can see right at that down mark, it just gets pushed out of bounds. But again, a great start for the Cedar Raptors. Again, like I said, Minnesota had their number in their first ever meeting, but so far, Cedar Raptors coming to play here on special teams. So we'll see kind of a multi-quarterback sort of system. Interesting offense here. Got a few folks who can take the snap. 25 under center there right now. Will roll it out. Quarterback keeper, and they're going to go down for a sack. Plenty of Minx in the area, including Cash Bomb. As we'll take a look back on the play again, that defensive line for Minnesota, that has been one of the areas that has improved drastically since they've come into existence 5 years ago. I was talking to Coach Moose Rylander before the game. I'm like, how many years has it been? Has it been 4 or 5 years we've been joined up? She said 5, and it's been hard to believe it's been 5 years of Minnesota Minx football. Cedar Raptors, one of the newer teams as well, and great to see the game of football growing, especially on the women's side, as we're set for second down. Little inside pitch, number 0, looking to get the edge. A few Minx in pursuit, gets it, and finally pushed out of bounds. Made something out of nothing as Keita Hardman on the jet sweep with a good gain. As take a look back here on the replay. Or a little shuttle pass maybe. As just gets the edge, beats a couple of defenders, and makes it a 3rd and manageable. About 3rd and 7 here for Cedar Raptors. I may call them Cedar Rapids on time. I know they're Cedar Rapids instead of Cedar Raptors sometimes, so bear with me as we'll try to get that nailed down. So, light crowd, but a dedicated, actually a little more filled in than I thought. Loud crowd here as well. Bad snap once again, gonna have to cover. Who's got the football? And I will wait the call. And it'll be Minnesota football. And again, we're gonna see a lot of that tonight, as these conditions are brutal. As again, get a good look at the, again, small crowd but loud crowd. As we'll take a look back on replay here, just high snap, couldn't even get our hands on it, and the Minx right there just to crash in, and with the fumble recovery. So plethora of turnovers to start this game, but an exciting start nonetheless. Fans are here for it. I'm here for it. Our crew's here for it. This is Springs football. As out of the gun, and we're going to get our first penalty of the game. We'll see if it's on the O-line or the D-line. And they're going to call a false start on the Minx, so that'll back them up 5.
Five-yard penalty, 1st and 15 from the 15-yard line for the Minx.
So Minx will walk back 5. Try to get this started again. We've seen the story for the Minnesota Minx is they need to get their offensive going. Obviously, the conditions are not going to help, but they have really struggled on offense. Probably have scored over 10 points in one game a season ago, so they really need to get this offense rolling. The defense, again, has been stout. J.C. Otterson had, I believe, 5+ picks a season ago, as they're going to throw it again here. A little miscommunication and picked off. And the Minx, a dire penalty as that's interception, as Zane Nelson will take it to the house. I love the play call there from Minnesota, but unfortunately the throw was too high. and led to a pick six, and that is a killer for Minnesota, as we'll get a good look here on the replay. Drops back to pass, and again, just overthrew. I love the play call, but just a little too high, and fortunately, mistakes like that are a killer in the game of football. So the Cedar Raptors extend the lead 12-0 over Minnesota, as they're gonna go for one. Hand off, found some space, and
Ball handed off to number 2, Lizzie Humpel. No good.
It's no good. So again, that stout defensive line for the Minx holds up once again. Let's take a look back on the replay. There's an injured player down on the field after the play. Again, great penetration there from the Minx, just to stop them. The ball came out at the end too, as we have a player down on the field for the Cedar Raptors. And again, early season injuries are never what you like to see. Hopefully nothing major. You never like to speculate.
But operate independently from both as a nonprofit 501c3 organization. They also team up with
So while we have a pause in the action, let's take one more look at the interception.
HCTV is proud to be the broadcast partner of the Minnesota.
It's going to cut off a little bit at the end here,
You can follow today's action live on Hastings Community TV's YouTube channel.
as they take it to the house. And again, great read by Nelson, as Cedar Raptors extend their lead. While they continue to work on our injured player, we'll try to figure out who they are. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This is AWFL football here on Hastings Community Television.
He gets the pin. What a move, what a goal! Oh, and a shot scores! The Raiders, can they get the lift? Yes, they do.
Just snipes one.
Oh my God! And reaching up and making the play. It's moving! It's over!
Looking to throw, and she's going to get the first down.
One! Touchdown Raiders!
Injured players up and off the field. That's always good to see, walking under their own power. Looks like number 2, Parker Belfis. We've seen a lot of early snaps in this game. Fortunately, you never like to see injuries in the game of football, but great to see they're able to get up under their own power. As we're set for kickoff once again, 6:25 to go in the first quarter. Cedar Raptors up 12-0 over Minnesota. Again, just got to get those turnovers taken care of, and you're right back into this game. Most of these scoring possessions from the Cedar Rapids have come on a short field, so we really haven't seen a long, extended drive tonight. And that's going to be key for Minnesota to get back in this game. But Cedar Raptors, keep doing what you're doing, pounce on every opportunity, and things will go right for you, as the kick is away. Taken out past the 40, past midfield, the 15, and runs into a colony of Raptors. But talk about a great return to start the new drive. Take a look back on the replay here. Good booming kick. That was number 15 on the return, Bree Renaka, as they take it near the 50-yard line. So here we go, new possession for Minnesota. Great field position, just shy of the 50-yard line. Looking to pass, has a receiver out in the flat, thrown high, and nearly intercepted. And unfortunately, we'll take a look at it. It just looks like it's not coming out of Hahn's hand very clean. It just looks, well, got an okay spiral on it, but just can't get a good grip of the football. And I know the passing game is going to be key for Minnesota to get back into this, but again, the wet football not really conducive to this, to the passing game. So we're going to have to get a little creative here with some jet sweeps, other parts. Rolling out here is Madison Hahn. Good throw, just a little short. Should say, good opportunity to buy time. That fell short for Lowry, the intended target. Bree Lowry. So set up a third down. And again, long as if you don't turn the ball over here, you can put the Cedar Raptors in a tough field position. Again, we haven't seen a long extended drive from them yet tonight. On the bright side, the rain is starting to ease up here for both squads. So should start to settle down a little bit. So third down out of the gun. Third and about 10. Looking to pass is Hahn. Little screen as that's picked off. There was a little bit of contact in there. I'm curious if that came before the throw, but that's picked off by number 12, Whitney Schrader. Let's take a look back on the replay. Saw a little contact in there. Nope, just making a play on the football. Just Minx intended target just tried to help play a little defense on offense, and unfortunately couldn't get it to go. But again, a little more manageable here for the Minnesota Minx on defense. Got a little bit of space to work with defensively, but again, that's the problem when your offense can't get going. Your defense is going to start getting tired. It's going to start getting run down. But we're still in the early stages here. Something to keep an eye on as number 25 will take it under center. That's Stockwell Gregson. Again, that actually number 1 kind of pointing out some plays. Belthus in the backfield. We'll hand it off to Belthus. Finds a hole. Stays on her feet. And gets a good run. Tackled by Yoshi Childress. As we take a look back on the replay here.
Sorry about that. Parker Belfast.
Actually, that was...
And up to the 34-yard
Apologize, wrong name on that one.
Second down and 1.
So set up a second down and 1. So not quite a first down, but a good explosive run from the Raptors.
Timeout.
As we're going to get our first timeout of the game. So while we have a pause on the action, let's take a walk through the Cedar Raptors schedule. First ever season in the AWFL, opening the season tonight here in Minnesota. Then they'll take on the Midwest Mountain Lions, and then following a date at the Iowa Phoenix. And then we'll have a home game against the Columbus Mystic, at the Cincinnati Sizzle, and wrapping up with the Iowa Phoenix. Obviously, looking at that schedule, you see a couple of familiar teams. If you've been watching the Minx or the Raptors, a couple of these teams moved over from the WFA, including the Mountain Lions, the Phoenix. To name a couple, we saw the Phoenix last season as they took on the Minnesota Minx. Speaking of which, we'll take a look at the Minnesota Minx schedule. They'll have a date in Iowa taking on the Phoenix. And then they will also take on the Midwest Mountain Lions on the road. A couple of road games on the road. Then they have 2 back-to-back at home against Cincinnati and Detroit. And then they will take on the Kalamazoo Bears to wrap out the season. So a couple of different teams, a couple of familiar teams. Again, that's why I say new year, new league. Not a lot. A lot has changed, but not. But also, some things remain the same in your common opponents. Makes the transition a little more simple. a little easier to game plan. So rolling out is the quarterback. Gregson firing deep. Defender there. And did she catch that? What a throw! And what a catch by Anique Adams. That was a beautiful pass. And again, in these conditions, to make that kind of catch, wow. Defender just a little behind the ball. And again, now we're finally seeing our first sustained possession of the ball game.
First and goal from the 8-yard line.
So it'll be a first and goal here. Iowa looking for their third score of the game. Out of the I formation, couple of receivers top of your screen. Gregson looking to keep it, fires a dart over the middle and just a little low and incomplete.
Stockwell Gregson pass falls incomplete. Second down and goal for the Raptors.
Set up a second down and goal. Again, not afraid to throw. I love to see that, especially in these rain games. Again, you try to get a little conservative in these weather contested games. So set up second down as we're nearing the end of about just under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Again, we play by college rules with the exception of extra points. So looking to roll out, runs into their own player, fumble. That might be Minnesota football, and I think it's squeezed back out. And I think the Cedar Raptors got back on it.
Waiting for the official word from our umpire crew.
And they did get back on it, but let's take a look and see what happened. As here's the replay.
It'll be third down from the 13-yard line.
Just, kind of got bobbled up against their own running back and just forced the ball out. And Cedar Raptors fortunate to cover that butt back up. And again, you're getting a lot of practice reps, but this is both teams' first real game of the season, so not everything will line up to start. And I'm going to guess as this game kind of rolls on, some of these things are going to get tightened down. As rolling out once again is the quarterback, fires deep for the end zone, nearly picked off. Knocked it down with authority. That was Gisetta Castanagwe in pursuit and making the nice play and leaving the Raptors with the decision here. Let's take a look back on the replay. Yeah, not afraid to throw it, rolling out. Just got in front of that football and made a good play.
Timeout called by the Raptors.
So we'll get a timeout from the Raptors.
It is currently and temporarily closed right now.
There's a good shot of head coach Quentin Ray. Apologize, Cedar Rapids fans, if I got that incorrect. Please let me know. Going off Google the best we can today. Quentin Ray doing an excellent job with this Cedar Raptors squad. Obviously, Minnesota Minx led by Moose Rylander of Minnesota Vixen fame. And she's done an excellent job getting this defense in good shape. Again, like I said, the biggest improvement has been this defense, and Iowa's going to kick this. Or Cedar Rapids, excuse me, is going to kick this. This is no gimme, especially in these conditions. Low snap. They're going to have to play some creative football here. A lot of space on the left. Cutting back inside. Are they going to get it? And the Minx are able to cover And talk about another nightmare situation here.
Able to make it to the goal line.
But nice job by the Minx to collapse and make the play. Let's take a look here. It's just a low snap. It didn't even get off the ground. But great awareness by Zane Nelson to make something out of nothing and nearly take this to the house.
And we have an injury timeout on the
As we have another injury down on the field. See if we can get the number on that. I'm not sure what happened. Believe it may be number 10, Ashley Brooks, but we're not too sure. Let's take a look back on the replay and see if we can see anything. Because she kind of sat down after the play. I didn't see much on the replay here. Again, looking like it's a lower leg injury. You never like to speculate, but we do hope they are okay. Looking like they're going to get up here. And actually, that was number 16, Zane Nelson, who took it
And the punter, Zane Nelson, up on her own behalf.
back on that return. So they'll have to check out for a play. But while you have a pause in the action, too, one of the unique things about the AWFL is their extra point rule, their PAT. You can take a field goal or you can run a play. Field goals, a 1-point try will be placed at the 3-yard line, 2-yard line. Otherwise, if you're running a play, 2-yard line will be a 1-point play, 5-yard line is a 2-point play, and the 10-yard line is a 3-pointer. So you could hypothetically go for a field goal on an extra point as Hahn looking to roll out. Nice throw, and just couldn't hang on. Intended target was number 31, Flocka Ghana. Again, that was Hahn's best throw of the night, and unfortunately couldn't hold on to it. Let's take a look back on replay. Again, especially in their own end zone, a lot of pressure to get that ball out. Got a good hand on it, but then the defender just came over Belthus and knocked it out of their hands. So Minnesota looking to get reset. Working out of the gun here. 2nd and 10. This time we'll give back to the back, but this time read like a book, and that's Thomas in there busting up the play. Setting up a 3rd and long, and again, these slick conditions, it's a battle of field position, and so far Cedar Raptors have been dominating the field position tonight. So just above a minute and a half here in the first quarter. Again, if just joining us, we've sat here for an hour. Lightning delay, as gonna have to get out of the end zone or it'll be a safety, and luckily they do. But that's gonna set up a tricky 4th down here. That was number 35 on the carry, Rachel Mudek. Again, sets up a decision here. Again, just couldn't get much separation. Tried to take it outside, but Cedar Raptors were right there to collapse, and they're going to bring out the punting unit. Keeper Hopkins, not a lot of room to operate. And looks like we saw Zane Nelson out there for the last return. This time we have a new returner. So still getting looked at on the sidelines. Nelson being one of the key players so far tonight. Punches away, low line drive, and That's going to trickle up to the 20, and they'll just fall on it and cover it up. That was number 5, Anique Adams on the return.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Raptors. 21-yard line.
So set them up at about the 21-yard line. But again, Minnesota's defense has done a nice job in the red zone. Obviously, one of those scores coming off a pick six. Nothing your defense can control about that. And the first score of the game, a short 2-3-yard run to get the scoring started. So an already tough position, but so far Minnesota defense been stout. Alongside Cedar Raptors, who also have done a very nice job with a couple of picks and tough run defense. So first down, about 32 seconds to go. Handoff number 1, great penetration from the Minx, but will come up and collapse that's Karshbaum making their presence known once again. Then a name we'll be calling all night. Again, just nice job not to give up on the play, use their body. As the clock will continue to roll down, and that will be the end of the first quarter. The Cedar Raptors hold a 12-0 lead over the hometown Minnesota Minx. So with that, we're going to take it to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching AWFL football here on Hastings Community Television.
The United Heroes League mainly uses sports as a bridge to help military families stay active and engaged in their communities. We have over 40 professional teams that partner with us for free tickets and camps. We provide access to free sporting equipment.
UHL has provided us with a lot of equipment and a lot of gear that is otherwise sometimes hard to attain.
It's really cool. I get all this free stuff, and it's because of my great dad, who is a veteran.
UHL has been a great supporter, not just for our family, but for all the military families.
We're excited to see what the future holds. We can't wait to see where it goes.
Who are we? We are artists. We are entertainers. We are storytellers. We are teachers. We keep you informed. We follow the action. Who are we? We are Hastings Community TV.
Fans in the stands here from Spring Lake Park High School. Got some Vixen attire here. Again, Minnesota Vixen, always a proud supporter of the Minnesota Minx. Kind of sister teams, as you will, with their family in attendance and getting some food while we're at it. So, great way to spend a Saturday night here in Minnesota. And wherever you may be watching from Iowa. We'll get to some of the comments a little later on. But thanks for joining us here on your Saturday evening. So we'll flip sides of the field as Minnesota Minx back on defense here. Looking to snap, throws a screen out in the flat. Great play design, sneaking through traffic, open field, and touchdown.
Pass number 24, Kaya Saunders. Good.
That was a great play design. That was number 24 on the touchdown reception. Kaya Saunders for Cedar Raptors.
Raptors going for 1 point.
So they're going to go for a 1-point try here. They will opt to go for it in lieu of kicking. Again, if you go for it at the 2-yard line, it's a 1-point try.
2 points from the 5.
If you go for it at the 5, it's a 2-point, and if you go for it at the 10, it's a 3-point try.
You can do that as well.
So here we go. They're going to run a play. Oh, nope. They are going to run a play here. So out of the pistol. Run. And this time.
Hand off to number 28 up the middle. Alyssa Noble-Gissendander.
They are going to get it this time. So it's the
2-point conversion is good.
They're going to make their first conversion of the night. So first, let's take a look back at the touchdown. A great screen play that Minnesota initially had it read, but just good blocking by Cedar Rapids allowed the separation and the score. Now we go straight into the extra point as they hand it off up the middle and cross the plane. So Minnesota going to need to make some adjustments here and get back into this game, down 19-0 here in the start of the second quarter.
All right, we got somebody with a sign down there. What does the sign say? You're standing up into where's Walter?
As we got some signage in the crowd too. We've got a 78 Chantel sign in the crowd. PA's reading some of the signs. Again, great environment, great day for women's football, albeit a little rainy, but happy to be here as we get reset for the kickoff. Again, we got some folks watching from Philadelphia. That's Richmond, Virginia, Naples, Florida, Denver, Colorado. We've got plenty of folks from all over the country tuning into our coverage today, so we're happy to have you along for the ride. As a great return from Minnesota, and that's a good pick-me-up there to get this drive started. That was number 35, Rachel Mudek, on the return.
First and 10 for the Minnesota Minx from their very own 41-yard line.
Again, fielded about the 25, gets about a little less than 20 on her own. So again, Minnesota's really got to get this offense going here. Even one long sustained possession can tell a lot in the story of the game and just for your team morale. And again, we've seen it from Cedar Rapids. They've been working in the passing game. Running game's been a little tough, but now that they're kind of leaning on that pass, they've had a lot of success getting this offense rolling. See what Minnesota can do here. One back in the backfield, kind of a pistol formation for first down. Hahn. Looking to roll out as a receiver and just a little low for the intended target. That was number 15, Bree Renica, excuse me.
Now, Minx fans, they need your help. I know the bleachers are wet.
Again, some of these designed rollouts are creative, but they had a lot of time. Hahn had a lot of time in the pocket. Just kind of wondering if it would be a little helpful just to kind of sit, let these passes develop, sit in the pocket a little bit more. Again, Minnesota having a lot of trouble tonight here on offense. 14:32 to go. Looking to pass. Got a flag, and they're going to go down for a sack. That's number 44 in on the sack, but we do have a flag on the play, so we'll see what the call is. I thank all of our officials for working this game tonight. See if that's... So it's offside on the defense, so that'll give Minnesota 5 yards. Again, any yardage you can get is a little more momentum to build, so they'll redo that second down.
It'll be second down and 5 from the 46-yard line.
So we got some fans tuning in from Ohio as well, so thanks for joining us. Of course, we got some Minnesota fans as well. Watching in Minnesota, I should add. Kind of try to fake the direct snap. This time get some separation. A little tricky design play there, kind of with the quarterback deception as, uh-oh, we might have an injury here. And that, I believe that's Flocka Ghana down on the field.
Ball brought up to the 50-yard line. Once the injury is complete.
Which, again, you never like to see injuries this early in the season. Again, kind of first game action, just getting loose. Muscles are not as flexible as normal. So let's take a look and see what happened here. Again, great play design. It kind of almost looks like a botched snap from the get-go, but just a little bit of deception there. Creates the space and kind of gets bent backwards over a Raptor and tied up, unfortunately, a lower leg injury. Kind of hope it's a cramp or something minor, but with that, while they are attended to on the field, we'll take another break. Thanks for joining us, everybody. You're watching Minnesota Minx football here on Hastings Community Television.
Push that trash that way, not this way. Come on.
Oh, hey there. Do you like HCTV?
That's one small step for Hastings and one giant leap for community television.
Do you want a custom video that promotes your business or organization and gives you the results you're looking for? As an HCTV sponsor, our staff will work with your business or organization to create a custom video to promote your brand. You also have an option of getting a shout out in every sporting event we cover. And that's 3 points for your business. So support HCTV today! Go to hastingstv.org/sponsors for more information or to give a one-time donation.
Flocka Ghana up on her feet. Great to see them walking off under their own power. Never like to see injuries on the field, but always good to see they're walking on their own. As Minnesota will have a third and very short. Gonna run the same play. This time gets past the running back. And again, tried to run the same play twice. And number 35, Mudek, couldn't cover it. So that'll set up a fourth down. All that momentum, unfortunately, kind of capped. We'll see what Minnesota decides here. Madison Hahn's still out there. They might have to burn a timeout here. A little confusion on if they want to punt or go for it. Hahn was out there for a while, and they're looking to get the punting unit out there now. So keeper Hopkins will be back, ready to punt it away. Good snap, good hold. Line drive kick, but a solid one. Fielded at the 30, but allows number 5 to get some space behind it. Fumble! Minnesota with the football and a lot of space to go! And will be pushed out at the 25-yard line. Laying the hit stick and getting another fumble recovery. Alexis Neff will come up with it. Let's take a look back on the replay. Again, great job to build some momentum on their return, get a lot of separation, but bam! Otterson forced that out, and that'll be 96 Alexis Neff, who will run with it and take it past the 25-yard line. Big defensive tackle taking it for a nice return. And that's the type of plays you just have to force that can create any spark of life for your team, offense, defense, special teams. Any big play like that can kind of turn things around. So, first down again, handoff. Hahn looking to pass, going deep, as that is wide of the intended target.
Pass falls incomplete. Second down and 10 for the Minx. Achieve Health and Wellness. Achieve Strength is a black level sponsor of the Minx this season. Achieve provides physical therapy and rehabilitative services.
So the long, deep pass from Hahn, no good. So we'll set up for a 2nd and 10.
Weekend warrior or someone looking to stay active and strong as you age, Achieve Strength will work with you to create a plan that will help you reach your goals.
So spreading it out of the gun, Madison Hahn. Looking for intended target. Finds one, has Hopkins caught! Big pass! And pushed out at the 2-yard line! And that was the pass Minnesota was waiting for. That's a huge play for Minnesota. Again, beautiful spiral. Got it over the defender, number 10, Ashley Brooks.
It'll be first and goal from the 3-yard line. 3 yards. Minnesota Minx.
So again, that is how you get momentum started. Again, any big play can be a spark, and that turnover put a jolt of life into this Minnesota offense as Madison Hahn with a dart. Hopkins in motion, looking to pitch it to Mudek. And great defensive play there by the Cedar Raptors. That was number 8, Lacey, Ramira Lacey, in to make the play. Again, these outside runs have not been too successful for the Minx so far tonight. Again, Cedar Raptors reading it like a book. But this is the best field position for Minnesota all evening. That's kind of out of that pistol set once again. Hahn sends him man in motion. Looking to pitch it outside. This time a little more blocking assistance, but wrapped up nicely by the Raptors. So a big 3rd down here for both squads. Again, finally set it up, that blocking. Kind of cut it in a little bit to the left, a little too far. If you cut that out a little bit more to the outside, might have had a little bit more blocking help. But again, good play by the Cedar Raptors, led by Quentin Ray, who's also the defensive coordinator. So both head coaches doing defensive coordinating duties as well. So big play here for the Minx. They are going to pass. Throws it down in the flat, has a target, and gets it to Hopkins, but doesn't get much after the play. Good play call, but just not a lot of space. So sets up a 4th down. We'll see what they decide to do here. They do like Hopkins as a kicker, so they could go for a field goal here, but obviously a field goal might not help as much as you would like it to in this situation. But again, at this point of the game, points are points. And with how turnover heavy this game has been, anything you can get on the scoreboard really might count in the end. So working back out of that pistol. Hahn looking to roll out, has a receiver out in the flat. Can they get it there? just a little long. Again, they had number 15, Renica, and just couldn't get it there. But again, this puts Cedar Raptors on their heels here. So Minnesota with one good penetrating play, they can force a safety or force a turnover. So Cedar Rapids has to be very careful in this situation as you get a good look at the offense back on the field.
The guy in the white shorts, you get fan of the game because it is way too cold outside, and you are moving and grooving, my friend. I like it.
So another possession here.
First and 10 from the 4-yard line for the Raptors.
So 7:31 to go here in the second quarter. Going to work out of the I formation here are the Raptors. Looking to hand it off, find some space, and runs into Otterson, who does not get run over very often. And there they go! Down the sideline. And the Cedar Raptors extend the lead. Field position does not matter as they take it to the crib. Again, that was number 1, Parker Belthus, taking it to the house. And they're going to go for a 1-point conversion after the replay here. Again, just bulldozes through. Minnesota had that red. Just unfortunately, we're running into a tank at running back as Parker Belthus, they just found space and took it to the house. Pulling a little A.J. Dillon, little Derrick Henry in that run, and unfortunately for Minnesota, puts them down 4 scores. So bunch formation, gonna try and sneak it. And they should be in. We'll wait the call.
And it is official.
And they are in for the 1-point try. That was number 5, Anik Adams, in on the carry, I believe. As you might have just saw on your TV screen, the lights kicked on here, so we'll be officially getting a night game. And with the 5 p.m. kickoff, usually we don't need the lights too often, but with that 1-hour lightning delay, really put us behind a little bit.
But across the entire Minnesota and neighboring states. Our friends, Atomic Architecture.
So while we have another pause in the action, let's take a look at the Northeast Conference, the Great Lakes Division. Obviously, you know, no games have been played besides for tonight, but just want to show it just so you can see the common teams that flipped over: the Midwest Mountain Lions, the Minx, Iowa Phoenix, Cedar Raptors, just those common opponents, and the new opponents Minnesota and Cedar Rapids will be seeing in the coming weeks. So 7:08 to go here. Only other difference between this league and the next is they also are down by contact. As a little squibber, fielded by number 92. That's Des O'Connell, as a big hit from
Brought up to
The
the
Raptors
39 for a
put the ball on that one as Hardman.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the
Let's take
Minx
a look back
from
on the
39
replay. Again,
yard
a
line.
little trouble fielding that one off the rip. And boom, kind of got crunched between a couple of Raptors, Ashley Brooks and Hardman.
1st and 10 from the 39 for the Minnesota Minx.
So new possession for the Minx. So Minnesota, again, a lot to like off that last drive. So out of the gun, looking to pass. Over the middle, has a receiver. Nice catch in traffic. Again, passing game starting to come together a little bit for Minnesota. And not an easy catch again with the wet field, wet football. Saw a fantastic catch earlier in the game from the Raptors near the goal line. Back out of the gun. Looking to pass is Hahn. Has time and nearly sacked, but great to get that one away. And we'll set up a 3rd down. But again, great pocket presence just to get that away. Obviously, with some of those throws, you got to be a little careful not to just throw it into traffic, but good awareness to get that one away. So again, big 3rd down here, 3rd and 6 or 7. No, I did not try to make a 6-7 joke. That's just the situation. So here we go. Big 3rd down for Minnesota. Gonna roll out here. Has a lot of space. Going deep, coming back for the football, picked off. Again, got a good amount of distance on that, but Anik Adams comes away with the pick. Again, Hahn showing she has a cannon of an arm. Not afraid to make the deep ball, but just not. He has a good arm, but is just kind of underthrowing some of these passes and are letting them be undercut. And unfortunately, another turnover. And again, defense is now starting to get gassed, and it's starting to put a toll and strain. So we got to get a quick answer here from Minnesota, but the Cedar Raptors need to just keep putting the pedal to the metal and keep doing what they do best. New possession for the Raptors. Handoff, going back to the big bruising back, Parker Belithus, for another good carry. They found the cheat code they like and will be riding Belithus a lot the rest of the way as they take it for a good gain.
2nd down and 3.
Be 2nd and 3. So out of the eye, looking to pass. Collapsing, tries to go for the screen to Belithus, but incomplete. Again, good pressure by the Minnesota defensive line. Just rushed Belithus
And just a reminder,
making the catch.
immediately following the game,
So we'll set up a
join the team and fans
3rd and
at the 40
short.
Route 47 pub
And like I said, Minnesota's
to celebrate the
defense,
success of the first home game of the season.
overall I feel like they've played
Folks
well,
associated
just
with the
getting
game
gassed.
will get a free drink ticket. Route 47 Pub and Grub.
Need to eat up some clock on their next offensive possession.
In Fridley.
So 3rd down, back out of the I formation. Couple of receivers top of your screen. One kind of in that pistol slot. Running another screen, this time to 5 and red like a book. Karshbaum with the contact. Otterson there to help. And Minnesota defense making another strong play as you see Otterson on your screen again. The lifeblood of this Minnesota defensive unit. So we'll see what they decide to do here. And again, great pursuit by Karshbaum to get the first initial hit, and then Otterson comes in to clean up. As Adams, fortunately not a lot of separation here. Obviously big lead here, so looking like the punting unit as you get a good look at Otterson on your screen alongside that defensive squad. Got that big captain's patch on the upper collar as well. I believe it's looking like a punting situation. New punter will be number 27, Bridget Karsten. Coming in for the injured player early in the game. That was number 16, Zane Nelson, who left. As they're going to let that one go and just cover it up. And
yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for your Minnesota Minx from the 14. How many
we'll see Minnesota once again.
Flag down on the field.
And again, want to give another shout out to our production crew. I'm Hunter Prinky on the call, running your graphics, replay, announcing, doing a few things tonight, and then Ian Andersack and Ben Brannon alongside on the cameras. So without them, we couldn't be on the air this evening, so I thank them for helping us out.
First down for the Raptors.
Get a good look at the Cedar Raptors coming out. Again, interesting, didn't talk about it yet, but interesting uniforms from the Raptors. Black pants, black helmets, and the kind of Raptor-esque scaly piping, the light blue piping. Now, you see it a little bit more in women's football, but a very interesting design. Oh, there's a 15-yard personal foul at the end of that, so Minnesota lost possession again. A silly mistake, unfortunately, costing them. Apologies, I missed the flag. So Cedar Rapids will retain possession as they'll do another handoff with Balthus. Balthus bulldozing through traffic, and they're going to take it to the crib once again, and starting to get out of hand here for the Minnesota Minx. And again, just fortunately, costly penalty, shooting themselves in the foot. As we take a look back at the score.
And it's going to be another 1-point conversion attempt.
Cedar Raptors will opt for a 1-point conversion as you get a good look at just the power. Just to take it to the house and looking to extend the lead to 33-0 over Minnesota. .304 left to go in the first half. Out of the gun is the quarterback, number 25, Gregson.
It's a pitch.
And the pitch is stopped by the stout defensive line here of the Minx. But unfortunately, again, bend but don't break defense only works for so long. And right now, the Minnesota defense has been breaking. And
so we're all going to wobble right along with you.
Again, it's really got to come down to that Minnesota offense needs to get something going here. Give this defensive line, defensive secondary unit a break here. As you see top of your screen in there, that's Minnesota Minx head coach Jody Rylander, or Moose Rylander of Minnesota Minx fame, longtime women's football player and women's football coach. She also coached the boys football team over at Cretin-Durham Hall for a time. Not positive if she still is there, but she was also my broadcast partner for a Minnesota Vixen playoff game a few years ago.
Looking good out there.
So we'll reset here with 3:04 to go. Minnesota looking to spark some life into a dormant offense again. Had a good chance there on the other side of the field back earlier in the third quarter. Just unfortunately couldn't score near the goal line, then gave up a 90-plus yard touchdown run to Belthus as we get good field position for Minnesota. And again, you got to do something here. Just build some momentum, get something rolling.
And ball is placed at the 45. 15-yard return. It'll be first down.
And we got some
for the Minx.
Fans from the Nebraska Pride tuning into our tonight's broadcast. Thanks for joining us as well. Nice to see some other teams and players joining us for the broadcast. Got a New York City resident tuning in. Welcome in. So working back out of that pistol set. Hahn looking to pass. Looking for somewhere to go. No one open, and just threw it near a defender. Intended target was keeper Hopkins.
Second down and 10.
Again, Hahn has been doing a decent job buying some time. Just he's got to get some of these throws a little more on the money. As you can see one of the coaches in the background dancing on the sideline. 2:40 to go here in the first half. Before we send it to halftime break, we will take a look at all of our scores. Hahn's going to throw it, and they had a lot of daylight in front of him, opting to throw. Kind of taking some influence from the sideline. Tapping the chest, yep, my bad. Kind of was tucked in between deciding to pass or throw. In that situation, you just got to go. But recognizing it and owning it up,
Remember, fans,
that's what you got to do.
Trucks are open. So during the halftime, grab yourself something to eat, something to drink from our great food truck vendors. I believe our merchandise tents might be
another
here at
third
half.
down. Apologize there. We're pulling the scoreboard data from the in-house venue and has not updated yet on the scoreboard, but it is third down, as you see on the flags top of your screen. Looking to roll out once again, has some space. Looking to keep it herself, but this time can't get to the edge fast enough and is wrapped up by the Raptors, and that'll send it to a fourth down.
Tackled by number 12, Whitney Schrader. It'll be fourth down and 15 for the Minx. 2-minute warning. Timeout.
So we have hit the 2-minute warning, and with that, we're going to throw it to another commercial break. Thanks for joining us, everybody. You're watching Cedar Raptors and Minnesota Minx football here from HCTV Sports.
Today, 4 Minnesotans lost their lives from fentanyl poisoning.
And 4 more will tomorrow.
Fentanyl is the #1 killer of 18 to 45-year-olds.
It's killing more and more 12 to 17-year-olds. They're people we care about.
Like my brother.
My sister.
My best friend.
We have the power to make a difference in our community. Join us in the fight against the fentanyl crisis.
Spring Lake Park High School here as we get set for the final 2 minutes of the first half. Hunter Pinky on the call here for tonight's action. The Minnesota Minx with a fourth down. Please pardon the score bug. It's unfortunately not updating here in-house, and they will opt for a punt with keeper Hopkins. Kind of took a rollout this time. That was a fantastic punt, taken all the way down near the 20-yard line. That was a great punt from keeper Hopkins. Cedar Rapids kind of caught retreating on that one.
At the 19-yard line.
But there's a little positivity to build on. Obviously, new special teams coordinator as well, with Sheena Reed, who's also been with the program for a few years now, just taking over the special teams duties. Let's get a good look back at the Cedar Raptors, back on offense. We'll see how conservative they decide to play this, with a big lead heading into halftime. Imagine a few running plays here, but might surprise and go for another score. So kind of working at that two-back set, a couple of backs at left and right. Nice snap. They will keep it. Look to pass. Pressure's there. Firing in just short of the intended target. Bridget Karsten will set up a second down.
For the Raptors from the 19-yard line.
So sets up a 2nd and 10. So 1:35 to go here. Not afraid to pass it on first. Let's see what they do on second. First down is kind of that testing ground to see what you want to do, and they'll go back to the ground with Belfis. Gets a gain of a few on the carry. Nice stop by the Minx defensively as we take a look back on replay here.
And 7 from the 22-yard line.
As apologize, we had some issues on that replay. As we get set up for a third down. Minute 6 to go here. So Minnesota with 3 timeouts. They get a big stop here. Clock will run. Minnesota with 3 timeouts here. So if they can get a stop, they may try to put something together as that pass is broken up. Intended for number 27, but Otterson there to break it up. Now set up a fourth down with just under 40 seconds to go here. And should be favorable field position for Minnesota after the punt. Can get a good look at Otterson on your screen again. Newer jerseys just implemented last year with the Minnesota flag on the upper left cuff. A little more legible numbers this time around, the white numbers with the blue trim. They used to have these shiny silver numbers on their uniforms, very Oakland Raider-esque, but they had a shiny metallic texture to it, and it made it a nightmare, as believe we had that would be a false start, and it is a false start on the Cedar Raptors. I believe it was one of the 2 linemen you see, Spitzner or number 17, Kasabucky, who jumped. It was on that left side of the line where I saw a foot move forward. I believe it was number 18, Spitzner, as we're going to get a timeout here.
Timeout called by the Raptors.
Raptors are out of timeouts for the half.
And at halftime, our food truck vendors are open for your eating and drinking pleasure. We got some great choices over there. I'm going to head on over there at halftime and grab some grub myself. We encourage each and one of you to go say hi.
Good look at the Minnesota Minx huddle on your screen. Looking to talk about their next offensive series here.
Minnesota Minx merchandise, once it opens up underneath the tent, located over.
Again, got to get this passing game rolling.
A huge thank you for gutting it out and sticking around throughout the weather delays and everything else for the.
As the Raptors finish their discussion.
Right now we're going back down the field, 4th down from the 17-yard line for the Raptors.
As we're set to punt it away. Low snap. Ooh, tough kick. And now this is exactly what the Minx needed. This will put the ball right near the 20.
And it looks like the ball rolls out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
So they'll call it at the 23-yard line, but here's a good chance for the Minx.
23-yard line. 27.1 seconds to go in the first half.
And before we send it to a halftime break, we will take you through our scores. So again, now gonna initially looking under center, but we'll back out to that pistol look, hand off. Mudek and instantly wrapped up by Thomas, and we're gonna call for that timeout right away.
Timeout called by the Minnesota.
And don't hate a first down run call there. You know, kind of feel out that process. Try and steal one when they're expecting you to pass. But again, Thomas, nice job shedding their block right away. So now an interesting conversation here, how they want to tackle the rest of the way. Offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Minx is Kenzie Riley, who's been a longtime member with the squad as well. Obviously, Ken used to be the quarterbacks coach as well, but did some reshuffling and now focusing solely on the offensive coordinator duties. Let's get a good look at Coach Quentin Ray talking to his squad. See what Minnesota draws up here on offense. Big drive here. Again, you get one score going here, going into halftime. That can be a momentum swing any way you put it. Something to build off of coming out of half. But again, Minnesota did receive the opening kickoff, so it will be Cedar Raptor football out of the break. They're going to hand it off, and again, nowhere to go. Guess who? Thomas busts straight through the line, and they're just going to let the time trickle down. Maybe try to get one more play off. 2 seconds. They got to snap it. I think they just got it off for the handoff, and that's how this half will conclude. A 32-0 lead here for the Cedar Raptors heading to the locker room. But before we say our halftime goodbyes, let's take you through how we got here. Obviously, a rainstorm to start the game. Touchdown run from number 2. I believe that was Lizzie Humple in for the first score of the game. And then followed that up again, a pick 6 coming from Zane Nelson, who would be later injured in the game, but made a big difference there on that scoring play as he get the touchdown pass thrown to the flat to number 24, Kaya Saunders. And we continue the scoring onslaught. Tough field position there, backed up at their own 1. Parker Belfis just bulldozes their way Derrick Henry style through traffic and takes it all the way for a 90-plus yard touchdown score. as you can see that conclusion. And then our final score of the half. Another touchdown run from Balthus, who's really become the workhorse back of this game. And that's how we got to halftime. So, halftime score, 32-0 in favor of the Cedar Raptors. We'll take another break and we'll be back for the second half of action here on HCTV Sports.
He gets the pin. What a move, what a goal! Oh, what a shot, scores! The Raiders, can they get the lift? Yes, they do.
Just snipes one.
Oh my God! And reaching up and making the play. It's moving. It is over. Looking to throw, and she's going to get the first down.
Gone! Touchdown, Raiders!
But here is the difference for the class of 1990.
We went from Mile High Eagles to Allen Peck.
I know you're all excited about Y2K. You could lose power or party like it's 1999.
Hastings High School has been graduating seniors. This is the first commencement. Congratulations, class of 2023. Go Raiders!
Funding for community TV is in rapid decline, and HCTV will not survive without your help. Let your local representatives know that you support community TV. To learn more, visit savecommunitytv.com.
back into Spring Lake Park High School for the second half of action here as the Minnesota Minx are playing host to the Cedar Raptors out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Thanks for joining us, everybody. My name's Hunter Pinky. I'm the sports director and your play-by-play announcer for tonight's contest. Joining me is Ben Brandon, Andy, and Andersack on the cameras. So thanks for choosing to spend your Saturday night here again. Coming off an hour lightning delay, but finally made it to halftime as we're set to resume play here momentarily. Minnesota down 32-0 to Cedar Raptors. Got to change some things here, as unfortunately the offense has been very stagnant for Minnesota. Defense, again, was looking good to start it, but again, just got gassed after being on the field so long. So looking to make some adjustments here as here in half number 2, get some points on the board, force some turnovers. They just need some sort of spark here in half number 2. But big hill to climb here as we're set to go here for half number 2. Keeper Hopkins out there for the kicking duties. Here we go, set to resume play here. Thanks for joining us, everybody, whether you're watching from Iowa, New York, Florida, wherever across the country. We are here to bring you your broadcast needs as the ball falls off the tee, as it's been a windy, stormy day here in Spring Lake Park, Minnesota. Storms finally have gone by the area, so we should hopefully be clear for the rest of the night, as they're going to have someone hold, adjusting the kickoff positioning here as well as captain number 21, Anthena Hurd, flip side. Kick is away, line drive. And a pretty good one fielded out the 15-yard line. Number 0 taking it out, making some space, got a hand on it. Uh-oh, look out as number 0, that is Keita Hardman, with the big return to start the second half. And again, story's been all Cedar Rapids. Offense have been able to find multiple pieces, especially with Parker Belthus, the workhorse running back, as we have an injury down on the field.
Injury timeout on the field.
We'll have to see who's down. I believe that's number 6, Hannah Muma. Getting that lower leg checked out. Unfortunately, didn't get to see what happened. Take a look and see if we can see it on the replay. Looks like they're getting up on their feet. Looked like a non-contact injury. You can see them starting to kind of hobble a little bit before any contact. Walking off gingerly is Muma. Hope she's okay.
1st and 10 for the Raptors.
So Minnesota back out there on defense for the first time in the second half. 14:39 to go here. Out of the gun, once again, is Stockwell Gregson. Has time, looking to chuck it deep, wide open receiver, and that's caught downfield. Found the gap in the zone coverage, and that was number 27, Karsten, on the reception for a big play.
Raptors.
A non-conventional quarterback number, making a very conventional quarterback throw, finding the space in the zone defense and for a big play, and quickly continuing their hot streak as they hand off to Belthus once again, finding a hole. Good gain as they'll take it near the first down. Still on their feet. Oh my goodness, they can't tackle her. Tackle them and they're gone to the house.
That's Parker Belthus breaking tackles for another Raptor touchdown.
I can't really add much more to that. Belthus has been a tank all night. Take a look back on the replay.
1 point, extra point.
This looks like they are able to get a lot of contact and try and bring them down, but they just find space and busted through the gap and took it to the house once again for their third touchdown of the game. So unfortunately for Minnesota, Iowa coming out swinging, or excuse me, Cedar Rapids coming out swinging. Cedar Rapids is in Iowa, so it kind of works, but we'll try to correct that as the high snap thrown out and off a hand as the 1 point attempt is no good. If you're just joining us, too, AWFL, new league, too, they have new extra point rules. Again, they can go for at the 2 for 1 point, 5 for 2 points, and the 10 for 3 points, should their hearts desire. So far, only seen 1 points tonight from the Raptors, but it's been kind of a mixed bag on what you get. They've only scored 1 or 2 extra points on the night, but touchdowns have not been a problem for Cedar Rapids. Again, Minnesota really needs to get something going here in half number 2. Another story of the game for the Raptors, number 16, Zane Nelson hurt. Had a pretty big impact early in the game. Injury has not come back in, so now we've been seeing Bridget Karsten on the special teams kicking and punting duties, as Karsten is back out there. Little pooch kick. Multiple Minx there to return it. This time would be number 36, and a strong tackle from number 0, Hardman. Gotta be a little careful on that one. Maybe could have argued a penalty on that one, kind of pushing them back when they're already down on the ground. So gotta be a little bit careful. I think it was clean, but gotta be a little bit careful because that can be called for taunting and other unsportsmanlike penalties. But again, Hardman, another key piece, has been awesome on special teams and made her presence known tonight. So see what Minnesota can do here. This time they're going to work out under center. Madison Hahn, the QB. Looking to roll it out again. Gonna take it there self. Looking to make a move.
That's a quarterback keep by Hahn.
Hahn this time deciding to take it themselves.
Gain of 3 yards on the play.
Gain of about 2 on the play.
For the Minx.
Again, nice job following the blocks and just got a couple yards on the play. So second down, just above that 12-minute mark. Looking Looking to pass. Hahn staying more in the pocket this time. Now rolls out. Has a receiver short off the hands. This time a good throw. Just fortunately couldn't be corralled. Number 86, Bree Lowry, the intended target again. This time found nice job. I like that they decide to keep Hahn in the pocket, then decides to roll out. Got a little bit high, but they say in football you get a hand on it and you should make that catch. Easier said than done on a night tonight, though. 38-0 is our score here. All Cedar Rapids. Minnesota looking to flip the script here. Now we'll kind of go back out of that pistol look. Rolling out. This time we'll keep it. Has some space this time. And we'll run straight into a defender still on her feet. And taken out of bounds.
Forward progress. Brings the ball to
patience in the run.
42-yard
working their way through traffic, unfortunately, just could not get very much. Or try to even get back near the line of scrimmage, so we'll set up another Minnesota punt. And that one is blocked by Karsten.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Raptors.
Again, just everything starting to fall apart for Minnesota tonight.
That immediately following the game here tonight, we had the official after party.
Again, just could not hold the blocks, and
Route 47 Pump and Grub.
And they really liked that design rollout punt they did earlier just to end that second half, or end that first half, excuse me. Tried to do it again, but this time Cedar Rapids just busts on through.
78-20, University Avenue Northeast in Fridley.
So Cedar Rapids back out there for another possession. So looking to pass. Going deep, and that one's well defended by number 22. Excuse me, I can't see based on the hair. Number 20. Good pass defense right there. That was Castanagüe getting a hand on it, making a good play. A lot of other games in action tonight. Gonna see if I can track down some scores for those games as well. Now this time, Cedar Rapids working out of the pistol, looking to throw it, has a receiver, and broken up. Nice stand by the Minx defense. The intended target was number 5, Adams. As we'll get another look at that one. Then got tipped at the line and she got a hand on the ball first, and then the contact just jarred that loose. Another nice play by number 21, Anthena Hurd. So 3rd down here, 3rd and 10. Out of that pistol set, one back in the backfield, looking to pass. Has a receiver out in the flat, caught, and they should be short of the line to gain. Tried to stretch out for a couple extra yards. That was Karsten on the reception. Nice job finding Karsten over the middle as she carries Karshbaum with her.
Excuse me, 24.
And to make it a 4th and medium, about 4th and 4, 4th and 5-ish. Wouldn't be surprised if Cedar Rapids opts to go for this one. So it's actually going to be about 4th and 3. So they will go for it, back out of that pistol set. Player in motion going to do the shuttle pass, and the Minx, this time they read it like a book.
And tackled
Karshbaum
by Bomber. Once again,
in there to make the tackles. Take a look at it again. You can see it right on that top of your screen. Sends the jet sweep, little shuttle pass, cuts inside, but Otterson and Karshbaum right there to read it. And again, those two players are some of the defensive leaders for this team, and Minnesota relies on them heavily, making their presence known right there. And now a chance for Minnesota to respond.
Our friends at Atlas Insurance Brokers.
So Minnesota back out of the pistol. Sends Hopkins in motion. This time going to hand off on the jet sweep. This time started to get some space, but immediately crunched by the Raptors. Again, liking the different look here on the play call. Will go as a handoff. And that was Adams in on the tackle. And overall, pretty energetic crowd for the rainy, gloomy day. On still out of the gun will be, believe, 2nd and 8, 7 or 8. Uh-oh, botched snap. And that's going to go right back to the Cedar Raptors. Well, we'll see.
Officiating crew rushes in. And the Minnesota Minx maintains.
They did maintain. I thought the Raptors were able to pop on that initially. Let's take a look back on it. Just lost it. And you can't really see the clear recovery on that far side. I thought they jumped on it right away. I apologize for jumping on that one, but set up a 3rd down. Again, like I said, still a very wet football field. It's been happening all night for both teams. Trouble on exchanges, handoff. As Hahn almost tripped up by her own running back, throws it deep on the flat, has a receiver just overthrown Hopkins. But again, good look and a good read, just mechanically didn't get it there.
Ball's incomplete. It'll be 4th down for the Minnesota Minx.
Almost did I had a holding call as that one just sails over the to target Hopkins. Again, Hopkins, that gadget-style player, kind of that Tyson Hill for the Saints a few years ago, just playing tight end, playing quarterback, playing wherever they would want him to play, and that's kind of what Hopkins is for this team. Special teams, playing a little offense, multiple positions, and those are huge assets to have as Adams is back deep to return for the Raptors. So Hopkins looking to fake it with Otterson and nowhere to go. And you know, at this stage of the game, unfortunately didn't pan out for the Minx, but I respect the effort there. Just try to get something going. Direct snap to Otterson. And again, just didn't get a lot of blocking help. I love that play call. Just, fortunately, not enough blocking there to help Otterson. And there's a reason they have them out, or have her out on special teams as well. Let's get a look at the offense once again as we're just approaching the 8-minute mark.
Alleviates stress in the body, improves flexibility, and aids in reducing the risk for injuries. They are here to help you stay in the game here at Wildwood Chiropractic.
So Cedar Raptors back out there looking for another offensive score. Gregson at quarterback, looking to roll out. And nice throw out into the flat. And a good catch by Karsten. Karsten kind of showing up as a weapon here. Seeing multiple tools from the Cedar Rapids offense. Karsten, Belthus,
after a gain of 4, so it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Adams, as well as Nelson before he got hurt. And these early season games are kind of an identity builder too. You're trying to figure out what kind of offense works for you, what kind of defense works for you, trying to figure out key pieces. And so far, Cedar Rapids has been kind of trying a few different looks and finding a few things that work. And wow, what a good play by Otterson to wrap that up immediately. Again, tried to send Karsten on the little shovel pass, and then boom, right there is Otterson. In there to make the play, the iconic blue sleeves and blue socks.
3rd down and 8.
Pretty easy to spot on that football field. So 3rd and long, kind of working at that bunch set, 2 backs in the backfield, 2 receivers, 1 receiver near side, 2 to the top of your screen. Looking to pass are the Raptors, going deep, looking, and looked like just lost their footing. Intended target was once again Karsten, as this will set up a 4th down and long. See what they decide to do here, but I imagine it's go for gold territory. Once again, 4th down. 2 back set. Stockwell Gregson at quarterback. Low snap. Has time, throws it. And again, just try to get that away. Karshbaum was there in coverage, but did not get enough mustard on that pass, and will be a turnover on downs and give the Minnesota Minx another opportunity here on offense.
Back in shape chiropractic. Dr. Amanda at Back in Shape Chiropractic.
Don't forget, too, there are 2 more home games as well for Minnesota. Obviously, they'll be on the road the next couple of weeks. Heading down to Iowa to take on the Iowa Phoenix. Iowa now sporting 2 AWFL teams with Iowa Phoenix and the Cedar Raptors.
Back in Shape is the silver sponsor of the Minx this season.
So unique for state to have a couple of them. Minnesota only having 2 women's football teams, but only 1 in the AWFL as they're sacked by Karsten. Again, take a look back on it.
They're going to mark the ball at the 10-yard line.
Again, just kind of running the wrong direction in the pocket. It's kind of a situation where you're trying to run, you're running into that defender, need to step up in that pocket. Look for another avenue to escape. Han's been a little jumpy going out to the left and right. Going deep, kind of going back out of the pocket to the left and right, kind of losing a lot of yards on her scrambles. Just need to step up in that pocket just to minimize some of these gains, or these losses, excuse me. Looking to pass, this time staying in the pocket, and this time doesn't get help. Right as I say, have a little pocket, a little more pocket awareness, just got no help on that one, and is sacked.
Stays out of the end zone, but the ball is placed on a 2-yard
just
line.
Busted through the middle and had nowhere to go again. I like the play call there, just got to get some help there from the offensive line. So we'll see what Minnesota can do here, backed up. And down 38-0. So just under 4.5 to go in the third. Rolling out. Way to get that one away with the defender in her face. Got to be careful of grounding, but no flag. Again, Hahn having a tough day.
Is the silver level sponsor of the Minx, supporting number 25, Mo Taylor. They offer a wide selection of apartments in convenient locations.
So that'll set up another punting situation, and again, Hopkins had their punt blocked last time out, and a lot less space here. Yeah, defensively, they've looked stout. Just again, these offensive possessions are just killing Minnesota tonight. Pretty good punt, getting that away. Good bounce, takes it to the 35. Adams will pick it up. Takes it down past the 20, cuts and pushed out. No, still in bounds, and took it down to the 2 or 3 yard line. And again, you can just tell, unfortunately for Minnesota, some of these players are starting to get gassed.
Ball advanced up to the 4-yard line. It'll be first down and
So it'll be officially down at the 4-yard line.
4-yard line.
Believe in the fourth quarter, if the lead is 35 or more, we may hit running time. I apologize, I'm familiarizing myself with some of the rule discrepancies as well. But again, another opportunity here to show what your defense can do here was the quarterback takes it under center, looking to throw it to the end zone, and that one's caught by Karsten. Kind of looked like it was going to be a little fade off the grab, but just a little floater over the middle. Karsten's in for another touchdown. Can just back foot. Kind of did that Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love kind of throw off the back foot, just put it up, trust the receiver, and put it in the end zone as the lead balloons to 44-0. And tough way to open the season if you're Minnesota, but if you're Cedar Raptors, you have to feel fantastic about how your offense is playing to start the year. Finding out your weapons, finding your key pieces, and that's going to go a long way as you kind of meet these newer teams or teams you don't see as commonly. So they go back out of that bunch set, 2 backs in the backfield. You got number 20 and number 1, Balthus back in there. Number 20 is Tamra Williams. Back to pass and threw it in no man's land.
44 for the Raptors, 0.
Again, Cedar Rapids starting to kind of opt for that more passing style of offenses. We'll take one more look at the score. Going to see how they work this play. Again, just 1 2-step drop and then little floater over the middle. Kind of got lucky there too. There was a couple of defenders there, but again, Minx just couldn't quite get there in time. That's kind of a dangerous ball to throw. A little floater over the middle, but regardless, a nice grab by Karsten. Extends his lead. Gonna have a new kicker. This will be Parker Balthus. out there, trying some different pieces at different positions. Got to see that flak jacket, too, under the pads. So not too common to see a kicker wearing those, but obviously just testing some different positions around. As the ball falls off the tee again. Wind still in effect and still strong up here, but
the ball falls off the tee.
rain and storms has stayed away since roughly 6:30, 6:45 Central Time. Little squib kick, almost working like an onside. Picked up by Karshbaum, makes a move. Good space, and there she goes. Ooh, takes a big hit. Uh-oh. Got a couple of players down. Kind of got shoved in her head.
For a couple of the players. Divide and conquer for all the players that needed to be down.
That did not look good. Take a look and see what happened. Looked like Karshbaum is up.
Returned by number 20.
There's actually a couple of Iowa players excuse me, I'm going to say that all night. Cedar Raptors players injured. One near midfield and one getting worked on right at the 35-yard line. Take a look and see if we can see what happened. See, just working their way through traffic. He kind of buckled there, and Karshbaum went into the leg of another player, and looks like a knee injury, unfortunately, for that player. So with that, while they continue to get checked out on the field, we're going to take another quick break here. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This is AWFL Football here on HCTV Sports.
Today, 4 Minnesotans lost their lives from fentanyl poisoning.
And 4 more will tomorrow.
Fentanyl is the #1 killer of 18 to 45-year-olds.
It's killing more and more 12 to 17-year-olds. They're people we care about.
Like my brother.
My sister.
My best friend.
We have the power to make a difference in our community. Join us in the fight against the fentanyl crisis.
Back into Spring Lake Park High School, as the injured player who was kind of grabbing their knee, that was Parker Belthus, the kicker and power back who's had 3 touchdowns on the night. Heads to the sideline for some rest and to get checked out. So Minx, after a good return, Hahn out in the flat, good pass, got it there. Little wobbler, but was able to beat the defender. That was number 81, excuse me.
Complete to number 81.
Cassius Wilson. Let's take a look on it.
1 yard on the game. 2nd down and 9.
Good, nice job getting it over the defender. Little floater, but placed it in the basket of Wilson, and small little gain. Get some short passes, start building some confidence. That's exactly what you need. Again, don't have to get too crazy, but again, just short little easy completions can really add to the morale of the passer and the team as a whole. 2:50 to go, 2nd down. Throwing it out in the flat. And incomplete for number 36. Kayla Strunk. And she's unable to get to it. And unfortunately, just not able to complete that one as we're on for a 3rd and about 9. Back out of that pistol set. Little pitch there, getting some speed, makes it cut, gets some space. Big tackle on the back end. That was Thomason on the tackle, but a nice carry by Cantu. This time getting some different pieces in on offense. Again, mixing up personnel here. Just seeing, again, this is a good thing for the Minx to do too, is to kind of mix around these personnel, figure out different packages and see what's working. As we have another injury down on the field, and that is Cantu. Cantu did take a big shot at the end of that play. Let's take one more look at it. Ooh, she hit her head pretty hard on the turf. Obviously, you never want to speculate in these situations. But getting checked out by the trainer. But again, why don't we take a second to run through team schedule here as they get checked out. Taking a look at the Cedar Raptors schedule. Again, after tonight, they will host their first home game against the Midwest Mountain Lions. Then travel in Iowa, get to stay in state to take on the Phoenix. And then they'll take on the Columbus Mystic back at home, Cincinnati Sizzle on the road. And then they conclude the season with the Iowa in-state border battle. Looking at the Minx schedule, after tonight, they will take on the Iowa Phoenix on a road test and then travel to Wisconsin to take on the Midwest Mountain Lions. Then they have a couple of home games back-to-back, Cincinnati Sizzle and the Detroit Prowl. And then they conclude the season with the Kalamazoo Bears. Keep on the lookout for those two teams, as looks like they have Cantu up and walking, and glad to see they're up and she's up and moving. But play will continue here with
fourth down from the 30-yard line. 4th and 7.
Under 2 minutes to go in the third. And again, you know, with these high-scoring games, you got to start wondering when you injury manage a little bit here with the game seemingly at hand for the Raptors. As Hahn looking to roll out. Has time. Little high, but had the target. Great read. Just couldn't get it to the intended receiver, Cassius Wilson. Again, nice job by the receiver to get some separation, too, on this. Again, this is a well-designed play. Just a little high, and even had that inside leverage on the defender, Hardman. But unfortunately, just thrown a little too high. But again, looking for the positives, too, on that play. If you're going to miss, there's no safety kind of lurking in the back. At least missing high didn't really give that defender a good play at it, but you usually you want to try and miss low. But again, thankfully no secondary coverage or no secondary help to hopefully steal that one away. Usually you like to kind of miss low because it's harder to make a play on the football diving. Minute 27 to go. Iowa back, or excuse me, I'm going to say Iowa all night. Cedar Rapids back out there. Handoff. Another big bruising back. This time stopped at the line of scrimmage for a minimal gain. This time it was 28 on the carry. Noble Gissendaner. Noble Gissendaner on the carry.
Nina Foyd on the tackle.
Gain of about 3. Looking to hand off, this time read like a book. Nice play by Minnesota. That time number 98, Shane Monson, in on the tackle. As we got another injury down on the field. Let's get a good look at it on the replay. That's the running back number 20. Tamara Williams injured down on the field. And again, this is the unfortunate situation, is just injuries starting to rack up for both teams. They're taking Williams' helmet off. Keep it here for now, but I know if you want to catch any more local high school sporting events, we will be back Monday for some high school girls lacrosse.
That's the end of the third quarter.
So with that, that is going to be the end of the third quarter. The Minnesota Minx are down 44-0. Again, the offense has stalled tonight. And unfortunately haven't been able to get anything going in that third quarter. So we'll see what they can do in the fourth. So we'll be right back. Cedar Rapids 44, Minnesota 0.
Some you've heard of more, but it doesn't bother me because I just love to explore. Interviewing owners and lending a hand. I love to assist for as long as they can stand. Some you've heard of more, but it doesn't bother me because I just love to explore. Interviewing owners and lending a hand. I love to assist for as long as they can stand.
Back into Spring Lake Park High School as we're set for the fourth quarter of play. Williams was able to get up on their own, under their own power. So glad to see them.
By joining a tackle football team, it is a general manager for a local car wash. She plays
See, they're okay.
Represents the players as a player.
So back to that bunch formation here. Two backs in the backfield, couple of receivers near side of your screen, one to the top. Look at a pass pump fake. Looking to roll out, finds Karsten. That was a pretty play.
And a gain of 6 yards on the play.
Gain of 6. And again, Cedar Rapids putting the pedal to the metal.
Our last thank you.
Not choosing to slow down this passing attack. Again, passing game working very well tonight for the Raptors. And I think they're starting to find their identity here tonight as we have another injury.
Megan enjoys spending time with her husband, 4 cats, and watching football. While not being able
Another injury, this time it's number 48, Catherine Maher.
Ladies and gentlemen, your board and board chairperson, Megan Ackerman.
So they'll get worked on the sideline again. Thankfully getting up too. And you know what, these colder weather games, you kind of got to worry about cramping up. So you kind of hope these are just cramps. I say it a lot during the high school season to start the year for football games. That's where you see a lot of these players start to cramp up and then come back a couple plays later. That's you kind of hope some of these injuries are just like that situation. But
the representative for the Minx down by the restrooms. To claim your $68, bring your ticket with you.
Just glad to see
ticket number
folks get up under their own power.
59-303. 25359-303 for $68. Congratulations. Winner down by the restroom.
So 14:05 to go here. And the punt is away. Back deep is Hurd. They're just going to let that one go wisely as be fielded at the 36-yard line.
Ball touchdown at the 36-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Minx from the 36-yard line.
Back to pass, firing deep, and that time got tied up again. No time there. Great job by Hahn just to get that away. Just had no time. Again, we just got to get one score here, just for something to build off of for next week, or the coming weeks ahead. No, anything to build off of is momentum. It's as cheesy as you can say it in the athletic sports world or as a commentator, but seriously, they all add up and matters. Karsten in pursuit of Hahn, and great job to throw that away by Hahn. Again, some of these rollouts too, just the defender has the right angle and Hahn just finds themselves running into defenders. So that'd be kind of my big takeaway for this one. It's just kind of leaning a little more in the pocket or just not taking as deep of a rollout. It's 3rd down. Kind of that design snap. Otterson this time, and gets a good chunk play. Starting to work in Otterson in on the offensive side of the ball, and that's, again, another key player who could be a multi-tool, kind of the Shohei Ohtani but of the football world. Just kind of work them in different spots. See what you got. See what's going to work for your offense. Obviously, there's some roster changeover, so you got to find some new pieces, and Otterson right there on offense. A little breath of fresh air on that play. And they're going to keep Otterson back out there behind the quarterback, Hahn. Handoff Otterson, finds some space, carries the defender, takes a big hit. But again, you're just seeing that explosiveness through the hole as Adams lays the big hit, but just something we haven't been seeing all night tonight. It's just lacking some of these explosive plays, and there you just see Otterson find the gap, shoots through the hole, breaks a tackle, and gains a few. Like, again, not a huge gain, but just enough to create a little spark and gain some yardage. So with that is a turnover on downs. But again, you saw a little bit of life with Otterson in there on offense. And again, can't gas too many of your players. But again, that might be a key piece to watch for in the coming weeks. Get some snaps with Otterson in there. Maybe even throw her at wide receiver just to see how the defense reacts. Because players like that really can really change the flow of a game. So back under center is the quarterback, Stockwell Gregson. Dropping back and had to get that out quick, and Adams couldn't hang on to it, but that was an impressive throw to get that away. The pocket collapsed immediately.
45-yard line for the Raptors.
Kind of stumbled a little bit too, but then right there, number 98 forced that throw out early. And that was still a pretty good throw, just a little low for Adams. So handoff, good to see Belthus back out onto the field. Was out for a few drives, and we might have another injury down on the field.
To the 39-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Raptors. And a player down on the field for the Minx.
That was number 48, Catherine Maher, down on the field, getting checked out by Minx trainers once again. They were have her up again, which is good to see.
Number 48, Catherine Maher, up on her own accord.
So the clock will continue to roll.
For the Raptors.
So bunt formation again, a couple of backs in the backfield. Little shuffle pass again. Just carrying defenders, getting probably a yard or two short of the line of scrimmage. But again, a good play call right there, just to gain a couple. You don't have to do too much, just do enough to apologize. Replay's bugging a little bit. Good look at the Cedar Raptors huddle. And a lot of the starters still out there for the Raptors. Handoff. They're short. Will be a turnover on downs. So again, this Minnesota Minx defense has shown a lot of flashes tonight, but they've just been on the field all night. And that time getting another great stop here. Turnover downs. There is a flag. So
unsportsmanlike conduct on the Raptors, number 19.
We've got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Raptors, against Sarah Stockwell Gregson. So that'll give Minnesota an additional, I believe, 15 yards. And they are just moving the chains, so talk about a good opportunity here for Minnesota. And want to also thank Spring Lake Park High School for opening us, or helping us get set up here for tonight's broadcast. Staff has been nothing but helpful for getting us on the air and setting us up with a nice press box space. Minnesota Minx, obviously, for having us out as well. Like I said, it's fun to help support and grow the game of women's football, and happy for all the viewers that are able to watch from home and across the country. As handoff here, number 35, Mudek. This time gets a few.
35, Rachel Mudek.
Rachel Mudek on the carry this time.
Up to the 44-yard line. Gain of 3 yards on the play. 2nd down and 7.
Apologies, we're having some minor replay issues here. Approaching the 9-minute mark in the game. Minnesota just looking to get on the scoreboard. Pitch to Mudek again. This time has some space to the outside. Cuts it in and is stopped by Thomas. And I believe that's number 8, Ramiro Lacey. Ramiro Lacey, excuse me. Still a fair number of the Raptors starters out on the field. We got a 3rd down and about 7 or 8. Yeah, don't forget, if you want to watch some more sports action, we have girls lacrosse for Hastings versus Rochester John Marshall on Monday, weather permitting, of course. And then we take a short break as handoff up the middle. I believe that's Otterson again, and takes it a few yards short of a 1st down. But we have a lot of high school sports action you can check out on our YouTube page. Lacrosse in the early stages. Then we'll follow that game up with another girls lacrosse date on the 21st versus Matamidi, which they're a pretty tough program. We'll have softball on the 30th versus Burnsville, and then our first baseball game will come on May 1st for a baseball showdown against the Tartan Titans out of Oakdale, Minnesota. Otterson with the handoff, looking to bulldoze her way through traffic, still on her feet, and gonna be short.
2 yards on the run. It will be the Raptors. Turnover on downs, 1st and 10.
It will be a turnover on downs.
From the 38-yard line.
So a lot coming up in high school sports as well. Also, don't forget, too, there are PEG stations just like us all around the country with funding continuing to decline. If you'd like to help keep us on the air, consider contacting your legislators. We're going to SaveCommunityTV.com. Consider leaving a donation to help the cause. Find out how to contact local legislators to help modernize PEG funding, keep Minnesota Minx broadcasts on the air through HCTV. So, well, if you want to donate to us personally, any funding helps helps cover contractor costs for camera operators, graphics folks, and anyone you can name. It goes straight back into our productions. As dropping back to pass and is sacked.
And Stockwell Gregson tackled for a sack.
So Minx with a big play there. But you can leave a donation for Hastings Community TV if you head to hastingstv.org/donate. Like I said, helping cover some of the camera operator costs, announcing all things that go into our broadcast, and help support local government meetings, news packages, the likes. You can also just check us out at Hastings Community TV on all of our socials, X, Instagram, Facebook. Getting our TikTok rolling, so bear with us on that front, but we're very active a lot on Facebook and Instagram alongside our YouTube. So out of the gun, once again, is Gregson. Now kind of the end around here. Otterson in pursuit. Flag is down as Hardman cuts it back inside. They're letting Hardman run free. There she goes. One person to beat, but we have to see what that flag is, and a great tackle on the back end by Hurd. But we'll have to see what the flag is. I might have been a hold or an illegal shift. And it was a hold, so that's going all the way back. So a pretty nifty play there for the Raptors, but unfortunately is taken away by a hold. We'll see if we can see it. Yeah, I saw it on the near side, number 37. On the near side of the line, there was a hold.
And the ball placed down on the 20-yard line. It'll be second down and 29 for the Raptors.
Approaching the 5-minute mark here. Low snap, looking to pass. Looking to find a receiver, and great coverage by the Minx again. Again, so far the Raptors not slowing down their offense at all.
It'll be third down and 29 to go for the Raptors.
Yeah, I think the contact was just early enough to not be a flag. Or it was just late enough to not be a flag. So under 5 minutes to go here, third down. And about a mile to go. They got to get all the way to the 49-yard line for a first down. As there's another big chunk play by Belthus, who just bulldozed through a plethora of Minx.
And ball brought up to the 50-yard line, which is just enough.
And that's enough for a first down. Minnesota has not had an answer for Belthus. Just bulldozing through traffic. And getting the first down. It was, again, third and a mile. But the clock will continue to run. So 3:40 to go here. And getting a timeout here.
Called by the Raptors.
So timeout from the Cedar Raptors, and we will also take a timeout. Thanks for joining us here, everybody, for the home opener for the AWFL season for the Minnesota Minx. We'll be right back after these messages.
He gets a pin. What a move, what a goal! Oh, and a shot scores! The Raiders, can they get the lift? Yes, they do.
Just snipes one.
Oh my God! And reaching up and making the play. It's moving. It's over.
Looking to throw, and she's going to get the first down.
Gone! Touchdown, Raiders!
Welcome back to Spring Lake Park High School as we're rounding out the final few minutes here of this game. Believe we're in running time. We've had a few inconsistencies on the clock, but clock continued to run off the timeout as another good run by the Cedar Raptors.
Up to the 43-yard line, second down and 4. Correction, second down and 3. Gain of 7 yards on the run.
Once again, thank you to all our viewers for tuning in tonight. Fortunately, for Minnesota, will open the season. Pretty tough loss to a strong Cedar Raptors team. I've been thoroughly impressed with how this team came to play today. As again, great defense again by the Minx. Stuffed every avenue on that pass. Nowhere to throw it. Look for a lane to roll out. Covered that and got a fantastic sack.
And 6 for the Raptors. 2-minute warning.
As we hit the 2-minute timeout here. We'll step aside for one final time tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This is AWFL football here on HCTV Sports.
The United Heroes League mainly uses sports as a bridge to help military families stay active and engaged in their communities. We have over 40 professional teams that partner with us for free tickets and camps. We provide access to free sporting equipment.
UHL has provided us with a lot of equipment and a lot of gear that is otherwise sometimes hard to attain.
It's really cool. I get all this free stuff, and it's because of my great dad who is a veteran.
UHL has been a great supporter, not just for our family, but for all the military families.
We're excited to see what the future holds. We can't wait to see where it goes.
Back into Spring Lake Park High School for the final 2 minutes of play here. Clock 1:58. And off up the gut. Hardman finds some space. Gets it near a first down. And Cedar Rapids well on their way to a 1-0 start in their first ever AWFL football game. Minnesota, unfortunately, will fall to 0-1 to start the campaign, but a lot to build on, a lot to learn. Again, this defense had shining moments throughout the game. A couple of forced turnovers, a couple of nice plays, stopping the run, stuffing the run game. A couple of good pass defenses. A lot to build on here, but again, just needing some of that offensive support. And I guess we get another timeout here. Talk things over. Again, Cedar Raptors, again, offensive showing for the ages tonight. Again, finding multiple key pieces as well tonight. Belthus came out showing. Carson in the passing game late in that third quarter was great. Hardman showed flashes. Obviously, key injury will be Zane Nelson, starting kicker and special teams specialist as well. Using him will be a tough task, but again, they've adjusted really nicely tonight. They have a lot to look forward to the rest of this season. And two, especially battling through the adverse conditions to start this game, an hour lightning delay. Basically a monsoon for about that whole first quarter. And honestly, shout out to the fans that made it through this whole broadcast tonight here. as the punt is away. And that goes straight out of bounds. As the clock continues to trickle down, maybe see one more play from this Minnesota offense. Maybe they'll take a kneel down. We'll see here. See Otterson heading back out with the offensive squad again. I think offensively, you got to start working in Otterson a little bit here. Get some of those key pieces. Just having Otterson on the field gives that defense something else to think about and will free up some other aspects of your game. A lot to work on in the coming weeks before their week 2 matchup on the road. Again, Minx will be on the road for 2 weeks. Cedar Rapids heads home for their opening home stand. They have Otterson in the backfield alongside Madison Hahn. What Minnesota decides to do here, they have Hopkins on a motion on the jet sweep inside handoff. Finds some space, gains a couple of yards, but quickly racked up by Cedar Rapids. And Keeper Hopkins, another player they really like. Special teams offense, a little bit of in the offense and special teams. A player they really like to have in multiple facets of the game. As we get a timeout from Minnesota as they want to put one more play together. Understand it too, like I said, the first game of the season, trying to figure out your pieces, figure out what works. Seconds on the clock. Looking to pass on, and that'll be incomplete. Clock will continue to run, and again, it's a little bit of work on the quarterback side of things. Just got to stay a little bit longer in the pocket. But again, we saw a couple of really nice throws from Madison Hahn tonight, and I think she does have the toolkit to do it. It's just got to figure out some changes here. Apologize. It's hard to tell if we're in running time when it's ruined sometimes and it stops sometimes. But we'll have at least one more play here for 3rd and about 7. Looking to pass, sticking in the pocket, has time, and just a little short. But again, sticking in that pocket, just buying yourself a little bit more time, or just staying composed allows for you to take your time, step up, and make a good throw. Again, just takes your time, saw the defender a little short, but again, that ball looked a lot stronger than some we've seen throughout the night tonight. Again, I think she has the toolkit tonight, but we just gotta see a little bit more pocket passing. As we're gonna get one more final timeout. Again, you can kind of see some of the haze or some of the rain droplets from the lights on our camera. It's been quite the home opener. And it wouldn't be a Minnesota Minx season if we didn't get one heavy rain game. It seems about right. About right for how the season should start. So one final play. On in the pocket, steps up, fires a deep ball, and caught and taken down at the 40-yard line, and that's our final score. But again, a fun and final play to end the game on. Again, what else could be said? We'll take one more look at that big pass play again. Takes her time in the pocket, doesn't get scared of the pressure, and just lays up a good football. And that's what we need to see a little bit more of in the coming weeks. And again, all the credit to the Cedar Raptors. They came out here ready to play. They came out here with a game plan, tried different pieces, found what works, and took a commanding 44-0 lead over the hometown Minnesota Minx. Like I said, congrats to both teams for finishing the first game of the season. We were happy to be a part of it, but Minnesota will set up for a 2-week road stand, and the Cedar Raptors will head back home for their first home opener of the season. So thanks to all of our viewers for tuning in tonight. I'm Hunter Pinky, joined by Ian Andersack, Ben Brannon on the cameras. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you.